Hi, Sean here. Before I get into my review for the Arbor, I wanted to do a giveaway because I don't get that many views, and this is kind of just a thank you to those guys who do view my videos. So I've got a £20 PlayStation Network card, or a £25 iTunes card. All you need to do is add this video to your favourites, leave a comment down below on which of these you want, and I'll use like a random number generator and pick someone out, and then just check that you added this to your favorites. Um, if you are based in the US and you are picked to win, I'll sort out a US based version of either of these, online, just simply because I think both of these would only work in the UK. Anyway, so the Arbor is it's like a documentary slash biographical film of the British playwright Andrea Dunbar. Um, it's kind of She wrote a couple of plays, one of them being The Arbor, and so Cleo Bernard is the director of this film, and he's done this weird. It's kind of weird, but it's kind of genius at the same time. So he's meshed three sort of methods of filmmaking or documentary making together. He uses archived footage of Andrea Dunbar. He has people act out the Arbor, the play, but not on a stage or anything. It's sort of in the middle of the area in West Yorkshire, which is named the Arbor, and also the most distinctive and creative thing, and something that I've never ever seen done, and is pretty genius as far as I'm concerned, is he takes interview tapes with friends and family of Andrea Dunbar, and he has actors lip sync to those interview tapes, and it's flawless. It's fucking perfect, and it's really well done, and it shows a bit of creativity in the documentary field. It's a field that you can't really get that creative with, but so it sort of plays as sort of it's kind of like this fact fiction hybrid filmmaking, which is it works really well, especially to tell this story. And the story is of Andrea Dunbar, and we sort of go through her life, and she grows up in like this housing projects in West Yorkshire in the 60s and the 70s, and she has um, she has kids really young, and she has really bad taste in men, and there's alcoholism in her family, and things don't turn out perfect, especially for someone who writes these really amazing plays. And I've read um, Rita Sue and Bob 2, which is one of her plays. I've never read The Arbor, and I haven't read the other play, but Rita Sue and Bob 2 is a really well written play, and what we see of the Arbor being acted out is an amazingly well written play. It's really gritty and really real life, and set in set in like these housing projects, and there's some racism, obviously, because it's like 60s, 70s. There's some um, racism, and it goes through not only Andrea Dunbar's life, but her children's lives as well, which mostly we look at Lorraine's life, uh, which is really sad and kind of depressing in a way. But the the idea of these actors lip syncing to actual um, interview tapes, like, is it blew my mind. The idea literally hooked me into seeing this film, and I'm so glad I did. I think if I had seen it last year, it would have been one of my favourite films of last year. Unfortunately, I didn't. I've seen it this year. It's one of my favourite films so far this year. Um, and it kind of raises a few questions between, you know, uh, documentary filmmaking and how to blend fact and fiction, because it is a documentary in that the interviews are real, and the stories they're telling are true and things like that, but the people we're seeing are not the actual people, and it gives an interesting style to the documentary because you can set up shots the way you wouldn't be able to sort of in a documentary, maybe in just a really cool way. And I was so impressed. I mean, it's hard to say that the acting was really good, because it's, they're just lip syncing. They're not. There's no, they don't kind of embody the character or anything, but they do get into the character, and you can see that they have learned to look like they're saying the words. I don't know. It's really hard to explain. Check out the trailer. I'll put a link in the D bar. And the film is available on DVD and Blu-ray currently on Amazon, and I couldn't highly recommend it enough, especially to those who enjoy creative filmmaking and documentaries, and biographical films, because this is essentially a biographical film of Angela Dunbar. So I think Cleo Bernard has done an amazing job. You couldn't have asked for a better biographical documentary, and I think we will begin to see more of this lip syncing technique, because it really works well, and I really feel that there are a lot of biographical documentaries that might benefit from using this technique, especially just cutting from old interview tapes and things like that. It's amazing. It's really, I really did enjoy the film. Yeah, that's it really. That was a quick rant. So yeah, once again, iTunes, PSN, add to your favourites, leave a thing down below to which one you want, and I'll pick someone.